I used to be terrified of a blank piece of paper, but I've learned that the secret to a great landscape is building incredible texture. Today we're finishing this commission using Aquapasto and Lyra Wax Crayons. We're going to turn this scary blank page into a really cool piece with lots of real depth. Okay, so let's get started on this. I've got the liquid umber from Schminke here with some Aquapasto, and we're just going to mix it up. Get it nice and thick. Okay, maybe not that thick. I'm going to add some water to this. So if you've never used Aquapasto, it's a translucent impasto-like consistency that you can use watercolor and gouache to thicken up your paint. You can see that it's pretty thick. But that's going to give us some really cool texture techniques that we can use. We're primarily going to be working on the land area here because I'm pretty happy with the way the sky turned out. And as you guys know, I don't like to mess with my skies after I've got them done. So I'm just going to start here making a pretty bold mark. The Aquapasto doesn't dry super fast. You'll notice that my paper is not taped down. It doesn't need to be taped down for this process. We're not going to be doing any wet on wet during this session, I don't think. And you can always tape your paper down later. And so I've got my catalyst blade here, and we can just go back in. And this is why I love the Aquapasto. Look at these fun marks we can make. Just sort of scraping back in and over the surface. It's going to give us some really cool marks that we can't really get with watercolor. So here I've mixed up a little bit of the English red and sepia into that ochre color from Schminke. I've got this lovely sort of rusty brown color. So I want to bring this through here. I know it looks, look how thick that is, guys. I know it's a lot, but remember, we're not being fearful. If you watched yesterday's video that I posted, it's no fear over here. We're just doing our thing. My intention is not to cover all this up, but just I want it to be distinct and lead your eye back into the background. What happens? I haven't tried this. What if we, so we can use our scraper tool. I'll leave a link to this. Everybody seems to like this. This is like my new favorite thing ever. We can scrape back these layers and bring in the layers underneath. This works really well with the Aquapasto. I knew it would, but it's kind of fun to look at. So we want that line to stay there. Okay, let's bring a little bit more of that Aquapasto through here. Might want to try a little bit of the Aquapasto with maybe some of the Daniel Smith colors. Okay, so I've mixed up a little bit of the umber with some Payne's Gray to give us this sort of green color. Got my dagger brush here, and I'm going to make a mark coming through here. Be a little bit more water. So this is sort of a wet on dry technique. I'm trying not to be too careful. Like sometimes when I'm working on these pieces that are commissions, I tend to get a little tight, so I'm trying not to mess it up. But you know what? I'm not going to do that today. Let's just create like we normally create with abandon. Because if you're too safe, then the marks that you're making are not going to be confident. Like, that's a really fun mark, like that. I like it on the dry paper. I don't know if I've ever used it on dry paper before. I'm gonna come in with this, what's buff titanium watercolor stick. I'm just gonna add some marks through here. It's a really opaque color. So we can kind of add some lightness back into this. You can see I added some here. I'm going to add a little bit more over here too. Really want to bring in those lighter tones. So these sticks, you can make really thick marks. And really kind of get some good flow into some areas. It's almost like using like a pastel, but it's watercolor. They're so fabulous. Okay, I'm just going to lay down some of this Lyra Wax Crayon here onto some deli paper. I'm going to put some marks through here. I'm using the Lyra because it's a little bit more creamy than the Caran d'Ache. And you'll see here in a second that it makes a little bit of a more distinctive mark. And I kind of wanted that texture to be in there. You can see it just makes like some little subtle marks. I'm going to continue on. Really want to make sure we have a lot of good textures going on here throughout this piece. I might bring some of this down over here. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit more through here. Ooh, I wonder what happens if we used our tool. That's a really subtle. These are really sharp, so you want to be careful that you're not going to cut through the paper. Ooh, but that's really cool. I like those marks. So I made some marks through here. I'm going to add a few more because I really like those. I thought those were really cool. This is such a fun tool. My goodness. Oh, that's really cool. Those are really cool marks. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of the Moon Glow from Daniel Smith and use this brush. I just want to add like a little bit of this color through here. It is transparent, so it's going to give us some nice movement through here. I just wanted to add some pops of, I just needed something because it was looking very orange. And why I like orange, I do. I didn't want the whole thing to be orange. You know what I mean? Like, I was feeling very too orange. I don't even know how to say it any other way. I'm using this tiny brush. I want to be careful because I don't want to lift up my the colors that I've put down with the other wax crayons with the Lyras. Okay, I'm going to come back in and use a scraper. Scrape some marks back in here. Ooh, look at that. That really did something for me. It kind of, I just really like those marks. I think it kind of gives it a little bit more energy. Let's do a few more. Very nice. I'm going to come in with the Canary Yellow from Caran d'Ache. I just need a little bit of a different color, I think. Let's see how this is going to work. Okay, that's really subtle. I kind of like that, but I think I want it to be more bold. Yeah, that's good. See how it just gives it a little bit more life? It's subtle, but I like it. Okay, I've got this yellow ochre here. We're going to put some more of these types of marks through here. Neat. Love. The scraper tool is becoming my favorite thing ever. Look at that. That's fabulous. It's just fabulous. I love how it's making marks and kind of giving this idea of blowing grasses through here, but it's not everywhere. It's almost like you can see the light hitting it and bouncing off. Oh my gosh, I love it. It's our Inktense ink black. I'm going to put a black mark, hopefully. You guys know how I love a black mark. And the client does too. She made a point that she really liked the, as she called them, fault lines. And I said, oh, good, because I love to make those marks. Oh, I love that. I need one more. I think it needs to start like right here. Just let it trickle down here. Okay, I pretty much left this alone. And I don't think I want to add any more paint. But I kind of feel like I want to make another mark coming from down here. Just to kind of break up that shape a little bit. Oh, I love that. I love it. Okay, I spritzed down the paper a little bit here. And come in with the tinted charcoal in the dark moss. I just want to create some texture through here. Maybe bring it down a little bit. So I think this area is a little, I don't want to add more color. Right now I'm just trying to activate the surface so it feels a little bit more complete. I think that's enough for now. I'm going to give it one more spritz. Spritzing high so that I don't get too much. Okay, I'm going to let this dry. Okay, so I think I want some black marks through here. I'm going to add maybe just a few. Always like a lot of contrast. These are really subtle. But that's probably a good thing. We've already got the boldness of the fault line marks. Don't think we need too many of these marks through here. You can see my paper is warping a little bit. But we will fix that by, I'm going to turn it over, wet the back down with some water, and then place some heavy books over it, and it should flatten right out. Okay, so this is the finished piece. I love it. I love it. I love that I achieved my goal of atmospheric perspective and that the sky is really light. It's a little darker, but comes down to light and then comes down into darkness. I think it gives a real nice sense of depth. I don't think it feels flat at all. I love the aquapasto marks that we put in to kind of give it some heft. Um, of course, the tinted charcoal is really nice. I love these marks. These yellow marks are probably some of my favorites. And I love, of course, the black lines. Let me know what you think. This was a really fun project. Two things. I loved working big. I didn't know I love working big, but I do. Really get your whole arm into creating, which is awesome. Um, I love the paper, which, Arsh is great paper. It's fun to work on really nice paper and uh, play around with the colors. Everything reacts a little differently to the 100% cotton paper. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to leave a link to yesterday's video that was all about stamps and with watercolor, and that'll be kind of cool. There might be a video on Saturday for the members because I have a new product I want to play around with, and then I'll shoot that again, another video for that on Tuesday for you guys that aren't members. I think it's going to be really cool. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. I really enjoyed sharing this with you, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Bye.